It's quite a sunny day, and we are here about the different perspectives of Indian education system. No, I'm not here to discuss it in a brief way by giving a laborious lecture that you may have found in the different interviews or in the discussions. I'm here to talk about the performance of my disciples, of what they have performed, of what they have said. I'm here to voice their voice actually. They have started with the different topics with renewed vigor and enthusiasm, so much enthusiasm that I never expected from them. And here we like to start what they have stated. Somebody states about the reservation system and how it impacts on Indian education policies. Somebody states about the education on West Bengal versus the education of the different states. So somebody is very vocal about the tribal marriage and its impact on the education system. Somebody said or highlighted about the perspectives of technical education versus the conventional education. And in this scenario, somebody's opinion is very important, as they have said about the perspectives of digital education versus the conventional education. So actually, you can understand that we are here to discuss about all these topics, and all these topics get a highlighted view. So today, I like to start with a very simple and a light-hearted manner, just with a simple demonstration. The first paper, you can see the picture of a school. The dialogue or the conversation between a guardian and a teacher. And what is written here in the context is quite distinct to you. Let me tell you about this. It is all about that pupils train your teachers. It is written by the 15-year-old William. And I like to congratulate William to represent a different view of conversational style. Pupils train your teachers. So much time we have heard that the teachers like to give the long lectures and they like to give the notations, different instructions to the students in the lecture halls with the high and the lofty boards, and you can understand this. This is actually a different topic. Teachers should not always speak all about this. Sometimes they should listen to the students. Students are human beings. They are not robots. This is not about the artificial intelligence. They feel tired. They feel exhausted in the classroom. Sometimes they need some recess. And we find that the teachers don't like to give them the recess, just like in the Middle Ages knights, what they have done, like Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Now, I'm not here to definitely compare a teacher with Muhammad bin Tughlaq. But the fact is that when he came to the classroom, he appeared like this. He thought that he had a sword in his hand, and the students are not students. They're just like his opponents, and he would like to give them or deliver the speech. And if anybody falters, what do we actually expect from a teacher? You'd give a sympathetic corner to the student. You'd ask definitely the student about his whereabouts, why he is not in a good mood. But instead of doing all these things, he just put on his sword, and at the time we find that the student is not the student. It actually turns into an enemy. That's what we call the degeneration of the relationship between the teacher and the student. That's what we do not expect. So, according to my opinion, they're just like the seeds. Give them the light, give them the shower, give them the rainfall, and give them the opportunity to flourish, coming all over this. Someday, the saplings will come or transform into the green trees, and they will give you shade too. Time is very limited. We come to our next topic. Just take a look at this demonstration. What is going on? What is actually the student trying to say? We find something about the gradation system. A grade, B grade, C grade, D grade are actually these the categories to determine who will define the categories, to whom we put, and in what envelope actually do we put them. Are they little postcards? That's my question, simple to the audience. Are the two students postcards or greeting cards that we would like to put them in actually different envelopes. These are actually not. So why do we like to measure them according to their height, status, number, talent? No, this is actually not the system. What we are doing is wrong. We are making a discrimination that was vividly seen in the Middle Ages. We have to make them understand that they are all here. Because the natural objects, if we just take a look at the stars, the sun, they do not discriminate. When the sun actually offers sunshine, we all bathe. So similarly, the atmosphere in a class, it is just the same. When they will find that the teacher is giving, the teacher is trying to look at them in the same way, he makes no discrimination. They will find the confidence, and which is the necessary thing, which is the backbone to gain knowledge. We come to the next topic, the gradation system that is very actually contrastive in our country. But if we come to the next topic, we will find this is all about the guardian meeting. This is all about the guardian meeting of what I'm talking about. In a guardian meeting, we find that the students, they are not given any importance. Some guardians are called and they are asked questions. They are asked cross questions by the different teachers. They feel really exhausted. They feel anxious. They feel nervous. The student was waiting outside the classroom and outside the staff room. He was or she was waiting with an eager glance what is going on between my father, my mother, and the teacher. If I'm talking about you, and if you are not present there, it is very ridiculous about whom I'm talking to then. You should be present. You are the client. I don't say that you are the customer, but you are the client. You have the right to be there. So in our education system, definitely, in the renewed education system, definitely, the students should be given wide access to the guardian meeting so that they can understand the different nooks and the corners. Why are they made aloof like the isolated islands? Okay, we come to the next topic, and if we find this is another demonstration, we will try to take a look at the cumulative view about this. This is all about the old versus new, about what somebody had said earlier. Why is it old? Why is it new? We find that the icons in a mobile phone, they are really lively. When we open the screen of the phone, we used to tap on the screen and a world actually opens. But in the blackboard, how does it happen that you approach the blackboard, you switch on or tap an icon that is given on the blackboard, and a vast universe opens or explores with a lot of possibilities. You will feel the charm. You do not feel that you are in a classroom. You do not feel that this is table, this is chair, or this is something else. You will feel something different. You are actually in a cosmological journey. That's what I'm talking about. Yes, you are guessing the right thing. The digital education system, that is the need of the hour, and that's what we want to point out. The fact is that the dull, drab, and the monotonous thing, they do not make any impact on our neurocells. They get dry. They feel bored. I'm talking about the 4K, I'm talking about the 3D or the 7D systems, if they are generated in the class, if the classrooms are made different, if we can find the map of the world, if we can find that the Egyptians are running through our classrooms, if we can find the topography of the Himalayan rainforest, if we can find that we are suddenly in the midst of a desert, of Thar desert, we don't have to listen to the textbooks again. We will listen to the good stories just like the children would like to listen the lullabies at their night time. Definitely, we will come to the next topic. I don't suppose that you get bored with my discussion. So, that is not about the equation. That's definitely not about the equation. A student is showing something to a teacher and is asking the question, if we have to go to the roundabout way to understand what is going on? No. The questions always have the answers. But if we go to a reverse way, do we not think that all answers that are put, they can also be asked like the questions, so that the teacher can give the answers? Why not student ask questions or student give answers and teachers have to find out the questions in reverse? Why is it always that you are on the desk and in a very orderly manner you will ask your students, look, X, Y, or Z, you just stand up and give the answer of my question? I don't suppose that this is audacity. I suppose that this is something orderly. Definitely, this is discipline, but in another sense, there is no emotion of it. There is no emotion in it. You have to understand, and you have to get it. Sometimes you go to the classroom and the student will stand up and the students will ask, today is the day when you will give the answer for our questions. Today, we are not here to answer you. Sometimes you have to change the role, what William Shakespeare have written in the Seven Ages of Man, that we have to play the different roles and we have to understand those roles. Try to judge my point of view. Take considerations, take your time, take coffee, and try to understand again and again what I'm saying. Today you have to change the role and how you get fit to the role. We will definitely come to the next discussion. So again, another equation, and the same thing is being asked here. But there is quite a difference. What is the difference? Why is not the board digital? That's a topic. That's what I have discussed earlier. I have given a brief look to that thing earlier. If you are given all the data in a sharing mode, just like you find that a student has a very dull and dumb rucksack, and he comes from the school, he likes to throw the ball, throw the bag in the same way he throws the ball, just because it is a burden to him. It is not something friendly or amicable to him. A school bag, it is just like a burden which was given or attributed to the students. The students are like the Lilliputians, and they just like to throw the ball out of the court. They just like to denounce or renounce whatever they are given. Sometimes, if they are given the clues of what they are doing actually, they are given the free rein, they are given a board, some datas. The datas will be automatically shared on the different desks and they will give the answer, because the students only throws the bag in order to get the laptop, the tablet, the phablet, or some Android devices on their lap so that they can find their heaven. No, you don't get it. I'm not talking about PUBG. It is already banned in India. I'm talking about the different perspectives. You don't have to be dead person with a game. Sometimes you can find the Brahma of education that is called Google. If you have questions in your mind, you go to the Brahma, Google, and you ask the question, you Google the question, you will get a lot of answers. You all know this better than me. And sometimes they do not feel bored, and you can find that they are engaged in chatting a long time at night. Why? Because it is something digital, it is something attractive. So if we put this system in our school, in our dull, drab classrooms, you can find that it's night, it's starry night, and students are still in the school. They're not going elsewhere, just like Alice in Wonderland. We come to the next topic. Just don't go away, I'm here. Just take a look at the picture. It is saying something again about the education system. A little student looking at the vast blackboard, and the teacher is behind there. It is trying to gauge something, but there is no star, there is no sun, there is no comet, and there is nothing actually. We find that the student is getting bored and bored. Yes, we are talking about the education system that we use a number of times and that we die a number of times in our country, and we don't find any vacations. Sometimes it comes about the summer vacation, And when we go to the summer vacation, we have the big home tasks and that are given by either the teachers or the bad person. You know, the bad person has the name of the tutor of the home. He gives you a lot of lessons, or she gives you a lot of lessons. You don't find you before the mirror, and you don't find any vacation. All are over, and the puja vacations goes just like it comes. Somebody said that our good times are just like the rabbits or the comets, and somebody says that our bad times are just like tortoise. You know, it is going on and going on, and never reaches a point. So today we discussed a brief view about the complaints, about the classroom complaints, and about what is going on, the affair that is going on between the teachers and the students. We have come to the last portion of our discussion. Don't go, sit back and relax. Just take a look at this picture. A very grave face of a teacher and the anxious face of a student. Sometimes you can take it that the student is in a mode of revolt. No, that is not French Revolution. We are talking about the classroom revolt. The student is looking at the teacher, and I'm talking about the relationship, the present day retro society, metro society, urban society, relationship between a teacher and the student. Why are they degenerating? Why are they coming to the headlines? I'm not covering the Wall Street Journal. But the fact is that the relationship actually has lost its own flavor. It has lost its own sound. It has lost its own identity. I'm not looking here for the rainbow colored teachers whom we used to find wearing the dhotis and the large framed spectacles, moving with a stick, with a grave voice. I'm talking about the teachers who would provide you everything, who is just like, imagine, you just put a query and the parcel is in your home. That's what I'm talking about. So we want some honey in the relationship between the teacher and the student. They ask questions, they give the answer of the questions, and on the other hand, we find that there is no justification in it. When the students, suppose we talk about the Teacher's Day. No, this is not a discussion about the Teacher's Day. If we find that in the Teacher's Day, the schools, colleges, and the universities are decorated, and who are decorating them? The students are decorating them. But in other days, you find that there is enough dust in the classroom. The students are not there. They are almost deserted. The students are not there. They did not make any movement. On the other time, we find whenever the occasion came, the students used to move, and they decorate the classroom in a way that they are all interior decorators. So we find something is there in their heart. Actually, we don't know how to make their hearts open. We have to try. And here I would like to say that if India has to make her students progressive, make her students educate, she has to try not only intensively but also in a very cordial way. And the best purpose to provide education is to make the minds of the pupils active through creativity, through other types of activity, and to always make them engaged of what you are doing. Thank you for listening us. We are actually on the last or the conclusive stage of the discussion. We have discussed several points, and next time I would like to come to you with a different topic. Hope this is a fine day to you. Thank you, everybody. Hello everybody, we are again back, and this time we are quite outside our scenario. We find that there is no four wall, there is no roof, and we are actually in an open landscape, and this is what we call the out of syllabus approach, and that is very popular in India today. Today we are in the heart of an enormous city, and we are about again to discuss the perspectives of Indian education that we find here. The factor is that this is a semi-urban, or you can say this is an urban atmosphere. After 73 years of independence, India has got only 82% of its citizens educated. But the factor is that there is again a discrimination in between the male and the female ratio that we find the discrimination will remain. But if you take a look at the street, you will find different types of vehicles, different types of people wearing different costumes, different dresses as they represent their economical standard. Do we expect the theory that education for all and education will be provided same for all here? If the people of the different status, if the people are of the different culture and the different upbringings are here, we cannot expect that they will given the same type of education. Somebody will pursue to the highly systematic English medium schools, and somebody will go to again the same conventional Bengali medium school. The standards are different, the momentum or the processes of rendering education is different. As you find that a cycle is going on and a bike is going on, the heavy vehicles are going on. Similarly also, students carry the different merits and they have the different standards, different categories. Can we expect that they will have the same type of education in India? No, we finally cannot expect this. I'm here to talk about the different types and the different statistics of West Bengal that we find here. West Bengal has a high ratio of 82% of educated people. And the rate of literacy is quite high here in comparing to the other states. We find that West Bengal is the sixth richest state in the economic ratio in India. And we also find that the Calcutta University, Jadavpur University, Presidency, which is nowadays the autonomous, given the status of the autonomous university, they have maintained the category and the standard of the education of the people of Bengal. You can find this type of atmosphere. You can expect the tutorial homes, you can expect the different types of gadgets that are provided in pursuing education here. You can find the light in the part of the city, and you can also find the different type of scientific provisions here. But what we understand that this part, this latitude and this longitude is quite different from that part of India where still light does not have entered. So the basic difference remains the same after 73 years. India remains the same after 73 years. The educationists, their approaches, the students, their mindsets, the rural and the urban setup, they remain same. They remain different in the same way. So we actually find here that the spectacle has changed, but we have a secret question in our mind. Does it actually, we have a question secretly in our mind, does it actually change? So again, we have to go to the different areas to find out what is going on in the mind of the people, and next time we will define it in a better way.
Our village is not bad now. Many infrastructural development, many equipments for teaching and teaching learning process, and many types of electronic gadgets which is we imply in our educational process, and for a total of this accumulation of this gadgets or infrastructure, the development of rural education system is much more better than previous 20 or 30 years ago. Now our student in our school or institution is near about 1.5 thousand, and teacher is near about 63. For this big population of student, our educational system runs very smoothly. Our rural people also believe that in this situation, in this modern situation, the implementation of electronics, especially internet, computer, our student can give their much more learning benefits from previous student, previous 10 or 20 years ago student. And now the difference between the rural and urban education system is minimized now for this implementation of technological usage. In our administrative ground, for various government policy, technology is used very much, and very popular grant, ACR or SSM grant or composite school grant, we can get in year to year, and the school building is developed in a rocket speed. But there is some obstruction in this scenario. Our students as first generation, most of our students are first generation learner, so their guardians are not conscious about them, and as a result, the teaching learning process cannot develop smoothly. The communication between teachers, student and parents is not a good condition, because parents are not very good interest. Most of the guardian are not very good, are not feel interest for this education, but a few of students guardian are very conscious, and as a result, our students can compete with the urban students very smoothly. A vocational section or NSQF, National Skill Framework system is run in our school, and for this general section, along with general section, student can get their vocational training or vocational studies from our school, and it will help them to get a job easily.
Hello there, this is quite an overcast day. We find that the atmosphere is not perfect here, but we get an overview from the headmaster of the school about the rural education in West Bengal. Let me tell you that this is the Gangetic Plain and I'm on the South Bengal. We are representing a school, and we already got an overview from the head of the institute about how actually the rural education system works. But I have another story side by side, as there are the good sides, there are the bad sides. There is enough criticism about this rural educational system that only the 31% of our country's youth run through the rural education system, of which there is a sharp fall of the 11% every year. And there are the number of dropouts, there are the number of the child marriages happening in the tribal sections and the parts of the villages. There are sometimes the misconceptions and lack of communication between the remote parts, between the guardians of the remote parts and the headmaster of the school. Still, we find that there are some positive points. If you take a look at the enough surrounding, you can find out that it is a very good infrastructure which is provided here. We can also find that there are side by side different sections running in this rural part of India. Somebody said it perfectly that if you want to know India, you have to go back to the rural part, because India grows in the rural part of Bengal. And there are other parts that we will definitely cover. We will take you to the remote part of the classroom, the remote part of the Indian education system, of what is going on here, and what are actually the arrangements, what is the arrangement plan here, how the classrooms are decorated, what type of facilities are provided, what type of scientific instruments are used here. Actually, we will cover all these sections. Stay with us in this video. So we have taken you inside the classroom. We have actually not taken you inside the classroom, but have let you given the opportunity to come inside the education system of rural West Bengal. Here we are making a DNA analysis of how it actually works. We find a dusty table, we find a rugged blackboard laid in a deserted condition. We find two ceiling fans, and we find some empty benches. It definitely speaks to all the pandemic situation and the present crisis in India. But is really this time the crisis we take as an excuse of what is going on here? We will compare it definitely to the other parts of the country, basically to the urban parts, and for those students who are curious to know about the system of rural West Bengal. We do not find here an electronic display system, we do not find here any classroom management system, and actually we know that the traditional age-old system is working here. Students have to enter through this way, and they would have to sit here, the teacher will stay here, he will make some verbal analysis of relations with the students. Some of them will give the answer, and definitely some of them do not feel interested. We find that some of them will really look outside the window, and they do not actually finish their lessons here. So there is enough disproportion, there is enough lackings, there is enough shortfall in this educational system. We need to grow up. Even after 73 years of independence, India still lacks those qualities, those arrangements that are needed for a rational educational system, for competing with an overgrowing China, for competing in the race of South Asian dominance. Thank you. We are actually in the heart of a mega kitchen. Actually, this mega kitchen is provided by the government of India for the arrangement of the midday meal system that is the largest of its own kind. More than 12 lakh schools in India continue this system, running about some 1.20 million students, and which is a world record, we can say. We find a large cauldron, we find other utensils, and we find the seat arrangement plan right there. Actually, this is a system which is spectacular in its own kind. In other countries, especially in the Western Europe, nobody can think about running such a system. India, which is suffering poverty, which is suffering from the pangs of poverty, is actually trying to rectify our errors after 73 years of independence. Definitely, education and poverty cannot go hand in hand. Somebody had said rightly, some poet had said rightly, that a hungry child does not know what education is. To him or to her, food is the most important supplement. So that's what we find here. Definitely, it is not the spectacular part of a city or of a large city where we can find everything which is dazzling, but we can find here the minimum opportunities to sustain life, and that India can grow up with all these facilities. That's what we can expect here. Thank you.